First question, poem written as an epigraph to ode intimations of immortality. That is, my heart leaps up when I behold. So, Ode Intimations of Immortality is Wordsworth's well-known ode, and it is a very lengthy poem, rather a complicated one, and it has got an epigraph. An epigraph is is actually a short quotation, or it can be a few sentences or a few lines from any other poem, and it is written immediately after the title of a poem or at the starting of start of the poem. And here, the poem written as an epigraph to ode intimations of immortality is "My heart leaps up when I behold," and that's also Wordsworth's poem, and it is a very short poem which consists of only 9 lines. So all these lines were not included, or the entire poem was not included in this epigraph, but the final 3 lines were included as an epigraph to Immortality Ode. And this poem, that is "My Heart Leaps Up," is also called a rainbow because it describes the joy the poet feels when he sees a rainbow, and that is why it's called a rainbow. Uh, it is also it also recollects an experience of his childhood days. So "My Heart Leaps Up" is an experience of his childhood days, and that is what he recollects. And also the poet says that his heart leaps up as leaps up when he sees the rainbow, as it did when he was a child. So, "My heart leaps up when I behold" is the first line of that poem, and that itself is its title. And the opening lines are, "My heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky." So, that's all about "My Heart Leaps Up." And next question, "The child is father of a man" is a line taken from which poem of Wordsworth? Again, "The child is father of a man" is a very famous word, and this is a line taken from "My Heart Leaps Up." Again, this is a famous line that is taken from "My Heart Leaps Up" by William Wordsworth. And here, child is the father of man. The meaning that poet trying to convey is that childhood experiences are passed on to the adult. Actually, whatever we experience as a child, uh, it continues to pass on to the adult, or whatever is imbibed in the childhood is carried over to the adulthood. So the basic nature of man gets developed in his childhood, or whatever we learn or whatever we experience as a child has been carried on uh, to the adulthood. So that is the meaning of "the child is father of the man," and that is taken from "My Heart Leaps Up." Ode Intimations of Immortality. The full title of the ode is "Ode Intimations of Immortality from Recollections of Early Childhood." Now, here are some important lines from the ode. "The things which I have seen I now can see no more. Whither is fled the visionary gleam? Where is it now, the glory and the dream? Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting. The soul that rises with us, our life's star." And here the ode is the main conflict in Wordsworth's ode is over the loss of innocence, and we get a touch of elegy, a feeling of elegy. That is, elegy is actually a poem that mourns the death of someone or the loss of someone, and here also we feel the loss of the regrets, the loss or the loss of innocence. And Wordsworth begins the poem by describing how he remembers seeing the world when he was a child. And here, in the last lines, also we can see that there is a spiritual reference. That is, the poet goes on to say that as children, we have got a connection with nature. We are very much connected to nature, and as we grow, we lose that connection, and that connection is lost, and that is the loss that he is referring to. So these are very important lines from the ode. Up, up, my friend, and quit your book is the opening line of which poem? The Tables Turned by Wordsworth. What is the subtitle of the poem The Tables Turned? An evening scene on the same subject. And about the tables turned, it is written in the form of a ballad, and the theme is nature is the best teacher. And here with the opening line, up, my friend, and quit your book. The poet is trying to say that he begins by telling his friend to stop reading book, and rather than reading, just go out and listen to the song of the birds, and or enjoy the beautiful things that is outside, which will give you more wisdom than any book. And nature has, he says that nature has more to teach you than books. And that is why the theme, that is nature is the best teacher. That is, he says that nature has more to teach you than books. And according to Wordsworth, the books that human read are of no use, while nature provides them with the knowledge and wisdom that books are lacking. And here are the concluding lines of the poem. Enough of science and art, close up those barren leaves. So these are closing lines, and the poet ends the poem by asking his friend to close his books and stop studying science and art, and instead learn something from nature. Surprised by joy, impatient as the wind is the opening line of Wordsworth's sonnet. That is, surprised by joy, impatient as the wind. That is the title. And it is about the death of poet's 3-year-old daughter Catherine. Next question, the poem of Wordsworth, which is an interesting conversation between a man and a girl. We are 7. So in this poem, the speaker meets an 8-year-old girl, and he begins a friendly chat. And he asks her how many siblings she has, and she replies that there are 7, including her. So that is We Are 7. A ballad that was composed during a sojourn in Germany in 1798. Strange fits of passion have I known. And sojourn is actually a short or a stay somewhere temporarily. That is a temporary stay. That is a sojourn. And a ballad that was composed during a sojourn is in Germany in 1798. That is, Strange Fits of Passion Have I Known. And it describes a poet's trip to his beloved Lucy's cottage. The poem, written in admiration and glorification of a bird, to the cuckoo. And the poem is addressed to the cuckoo, and he welcomes the bird which comes to England in spring. And the song of the bird brings to the poet's mind the memories of his childhood. Pastoral poem which tells the story of an aging shepherd, Michael. And Michael is, of course, one of the best known poems of William Wordsworth, and it tells the story of an aging shepherd, um, that is Michael, and his wife Isabella, and his only child Luke. So these are the characters in this poem: Michael, his wife Isabella, and his child Luke. And it is a pastoral poem, which means it's related to country life or rural life, or dealing with shepherds. That is, a pastoral poem is a poem that has some sort of simplicity of rural life or country life. So Michael is a pastoral poem, and it tells the story of an aging shepherd, and the name of the shepherd is Michael. The name of the cottage in the poem, Michael, the Evening Star. What is described by Wordsworth as a stern daughter of the voice of God? Duty. And stern daughter of the voice of God is a line from Ode to Duty, in which the poet speaks about the value of duty or work, and he says that as an individual, we should not run away from responsibility. So that is what he's trying to convey in this ode. The poem, written about an experience that took place during a trip to France with Dorothy, composed upon Westminster Bridge. And the poem composed upon Westminster Bridge is written in the form of a Petrarchan sonnet. And me this uncharted freedom tires. I feel the weight of chance desires. These are the lines, important lines from the poem. And it is set in London. That is, the inspiration for the poem was the view he had from the Westminster Bridge early morning, and he, along with his sister Dorothy Wordsworth, was crossing. Both of them were crossing the bridge when London was asleep. That means early in the morning. And London, even by the early 19th century, was a world of industrialization, or world of or land of industrialization, and the environment was so polluted, and it is all due to the industrial activities. And but still, London early in the morning is very quiet, or it is very peaceful, and that is what Wordsworth is trying to say, or he's praising. Written in March is a poem composed by Wordsworth, and written in March. It includes words that are of a common speaker. It's written in a very simple language, and it speaks about the objects around him, or he's describing the scenery, and he wrote this poem in a very simple language. Like the poem begins with the cock is crowing, the stream is flowing, and even the lines like the cattle are grazing. And this is very written in a very simple language, and overall the poem gives a feeling of calmness, and the tone of the poem is very soothing to the readers.